how bad is the over-tourism in Kyoto actually? Japan's tourism numbers are booming again, and the country is undoubtedly a major tourist destination for people from all over the world. Everybody wants to see the traditional side of Japan, and above all other cities, Kyoto is the one that is supposed to deliver exactly that. But recently, Japan and especially Kyoto have been headlined with over-tourism problems. So in this video, we are going ourselves to see this famous city with our own eyes and to find out if the streets are really full of crowds and misbehaving tourists. But before we arrive, a quick budget tip. Kyoto is often heavily booked and hotel prices are much higher than in Osaka, but Osaka is only a 30-minute train ride away. The tickets are cheap and trains run plenty, so you can easily use Osaka as a base to not only explore Kyoto, but the city of Kobe as well. Okay, quick 28-minute train ride from Osaka, and we're in the heart of Kyoto. So far, it feels like a way smaller city. For some reason, it probably is. Looks nothing traditional yet, but all the temples and stuff are on the outside. People are actually nice in Japan and let you go over the zebra walks. And the big question will be, is it worth it, or is it just gonna be super full of tourists and unbearable? We shall see. So the impression changes quickly as soon as you get onto the bus, because the buses are packed. I'm soaked right now. We just went through a 15-minute bus ride from hell, and we're making our way to the first temple. A little intimidated by the crowded bus, we immediately make our way to one of the major attractions of the city, Kiyomizu-dera Temple. And the closer we get, the more tourists we encounter, even early in the morning. This is a bus park, and not only coming thousands of people from there, but also on foot from down there. Here we go. From here, the pedestrian zone starts, the cars go to there, and then everybody flocks into the street, which looks amazing, to be honest. Like, the street itself looks awesome. Look at all the shops, the decoration, very nice. That's why people are here, right?
I love the wooden buildings. That's really cool to see. That's what I think of, like, traditional Japanese style, but I don't know, just very prevalent here.
And now it's opening up. There's a couple of first temples. I don't think that's the main one. These look awesome. After the tight street, the temple area majestically opens up and it gets a little less crowded. To be honest, the amount of people was not that bad at this time. It got much busier later during the day, but spoiler alert, we will have one of our best Japan experiences later in this video. But look how beautifully this architecture sits here on the hills overlooking the city.
Thank you.
Just had to buy a little ticket, 500 yen per person. It's not bad, it's like €3 and a little bit. And this is for the upper part of the temple, which starts here. And it's supposed to be very, very photogenic. At the very end of this temple experience, I think this is one photo spot everybody tries to get. And I can only assume it's pretty busy. And it got very, very crowded towards the highlight spot here. So right here we have the iconic photo spot behind the temple on the right, city in the background. And as you can see, everybody wants to get that picture.
I don't know if it's age, but I am so stressed in this crowded of an area. This is no longer an attraction or a temple, it is a theme park. It feels like.
It is a theme park. You just said it's more packed than Disneyland, Disney World sometimes.
Yeah.
I just think I have to be a little less negative. It's like I'm always tending towards the negative. It's genetically in me as a German. But I think this is the best temple I've ever seen. Like the most Japanese styled thing, you know, this Chinese Japanese style of architecture. It's absolutely beautiful. It looks freaking awesome. It's just so full of people, so that takes a lot away from the enjoyment of a place. It ultimately is up to you, right, if it's worth it, because it's very annoying but also very beautiful. So
don't get me wrong, I am appreciating how beautiful it is. I think it's epic. I just think it's very much tainted by the sheer number of people. This is busier than Machu Picchu. This is busier than Bali. This is busier than any tourist attraction I've ever been to. This is crazy.
Yeah. It got a little better after this, and the temple has additional smaller buildings on the hills around it, as well as a garden area that you are funneled through, featuring some restaurants, plenty of decoration, and this cool water feature.
I just realized that this is the line for the water feature, so you have to queue here to go in there and do that little water thing.
Was it worth it? Let us know if you would deal with the crowds to see it or not. For us, it's probably a yes.
So I think overall it was not quite as bad as I expected. I expected just masses, like zombie masses. And to be honest, the worst part is the street leading in and out of the temple. Not the temple itself, I mean that's crowded too, but this street is like a funnel. Beautiful architecture, feels like I'm transformed in time. And then look at these buildings. Wait, oh, that's a Starbucks, nice. Actually Starbucks built in here. I gotta appreciate that they at least make it like they integrate, you know, it's not like standing out.
And this street also connects to other popular sites of Kyoto, like the famous Geisha district of Gion, where we are heading next for a much needed lunch break, because while in Kyoto, you need to try the local food as well, of course.
What? We see German Deutsche Baumkuchen here in Japan. I've always heard that it's a very popular cake here.
So this is one of the places a lot of people rent these kimonos here. It seems to be quite the thing. There are these rental places, a lot of them. And for the basic one, you pay 3,500 yen. Hairset included 5 grand, and then a couple of extras. And I guess it's for the day. And then you can just walk around in classic attire, like right there across the street.
So far, I do like some of these buildings in Kyoto. It's gorgeous. Like, this old wooden architecture is so pretty. It's very aesthetic. And as you can see, it's not that busy. Like, we're on a side street now, and there's not too many people. And it's a little better because, I don't know, I'm getting so stressed in the crowds. And I also feel like so many of the people here think that no one else can hear them. I hear English, German, Chinese, and people just saying like kind of obnoxious things like no one else is around them. I only bring up those languages because those are what I fully understand. There's definitely Spanish, Italian, so many other languages spoken here. It feels very, very touristy, so I'm hoping we can go and find some more off streets and enjoy those a little more. Konnichiwa from a small restaurant here in Kyoto. As you can hear, it's very quiet here, and we both got 2 sushi sets. So apparently there's a staple here. It's mackerel. It's a type of sushi that's very common here in Kyoto, and I'll show you that right now.
This is huge, and there's a good chunk of fish on there, good chunk of maki.
I think it's one go.
Mackerel has a very thick skin, which makes it very bitey and meaty. It is easier to salt and preserve, which is why it was historically popular in Kyoto, since the city is not directly on the water. I also gave it a try and it was great.
Huge bite. I think from your reaction, Gina looked a little bit disappointed, but I think it's awesome. It tastes very fishy, kind of what I'm used to from the Northern Sea in Europe. I also have a little set here, and we get chirashi sushi. Gina has a little bowl of that. I have a little side. It's kind of like what formed the westernized sushi bowls a little bit. It's a bed of rice, and then there's some egg chunks on here and assorted sushi, and it's usually for celebratory occasions, and it looks very colorful and beautiful. Yeah, I think there's a piece of eel on mine. It looks very nice. I'm just trying to dig in here. A lot of shredded egg, some nori-leaves shredded up, sushi rice and eel. I think this is definitely a step up from the sushi roll we tried earlier in Osaka. The conveyor belt sushi. I think this is definitely a step up. And we have a couple of pieces of a tuna roll on the side. Oh my god, it's so soft. It's like tuna butter. It just melts in your mouth, the inside. It's oozing out already. That's really nice and fatty. And then you have this, like, what was it called? Scalded pike. Not sure what it's called. It looks like torched or something. Not sure if it's fully raw. It's also super square. I think the most beautiful piece of my set might be this one. Look how meaty that looks. I think this is a big fat chunk of tuna nigiri. Wasabi already on there. I know I'm supposed to dip it on the top, but I really can't. I don't know how the logistics work, but I'm excited. That was the best piece of sushi I've ever had. Wow. This is what I expected from the tuna sushi in Japan. That's so nice, dude. It looked so meaty. It could have been a piece of beef, and then it just melts in your mouth. It's strong in flavor. It tastes a little wasabi. Very interesting, dude. I'm experiencing some very new flavors here. Very strong and intense in taste. Very nice. I really like this. This is the first really good sushi experience we're having. The conveyor belt was okay too, but this one is just another level, and I love it.
This felt like an oasis of tranquility coming from the earlier busy streets. We had some green tea, one of the sets came with this beautiful soup, and we finished off the amazing sushi assortment.
I really appreciate how intimate and chill Japanese restaurants are. However, it's not the easiest to film in there, because we can't just yap around here like idiots, be the only ones.
If you hear us, we found like we're trying to seduce you while eating.
Welcome to our sushi show.
All right, so we just came out of that restaurant. When we first arrived, it was just a bunch of Japanese people, some guys on their lunch break, but as we waited for our meal, more tourists came in, and it was still very, very quiet. If you go above a grumble, it's not very polite or normal in Japan.
I'm a little apprehensive when it comes to these restaurants in these very touristy areas. The price was also a little elevated. We paid about 5,000 yen for both of them together combined. But damn, that was worth it.
It was
man.
so good.
So far, one of the highlights here in Kyoto.
Yes, we're gonna go and hopefully find a little sweet snack now because I love dessert.
Next, we walked through Gion, the famous geisha district of the city. It kind of felt like a nice mix between the fully set up for tourist temple areas and actual traditional looking Japan where people still live. It was fairly busy and cars kept pushing through. Filming is forbidden in the private side streets, and this is the only place we ever heard a Japanese man actually yelling because a kid got too close to a closed off area. After Gion, we made our way towards the more modern city center. You can immediately feel the amount of people increasing again, and we walked through this Shotengai pedestrian area to Nishiki Market, looking for more food.
Okay, this is the start of Nishiki Market, it says on top.
Frankly, the amount of people made the market and this area very unenjoyable.
Nishiki Market very busy as well.
Very stressful. There's so much to eat and so much to do, but you're like packed with people walking down.
Yeah, doing the zombie walk.
Yeah, we're gonna take our food to a park and enjoy it there.
We quickly grabbed some to-go boxes and made our way over to the much calmer side streets and nicer area along the Kamo River.
We're finding the shortcuts right now through the back alleys of Kyoto. This looks pretty cool.
Fit.
Stuck.
So we brought our desserts over to the river so we can enjoy some calmness. I feel like that's the theme of today's video, or the city.
It's afternoon snack time for us, and it's so nice to just sit at the riverbank for a little bit. There's still quite a good amount of people here, but it's nowhere nearly as busy as in the touristy street areas where the temples are. And we got a couple of snacks from the Nishiki Market, which was also very busy, but they have tons of food to take away. And one thing that is everywhere in Japan, and they love it, is chicken in all kinds of forms, mostly deep fried, but also non-deep fried. We found this thick chicken on a stick. It's a chicken roll, and I thought it was wrapped with some kind of bacon, but now I'm not sure anymore. Maybe it's just skin and fat. This also looks like wrong to put in my mouth, but I'm just gonna do that. Okay, it's fatty, it's still good though. Oh wow, I think it's a couple of chicken thighs just laid together and then wrapped around with chicken skin. Also glazed with some soy tasting sauce. If you're into thighs and fatty chicken, this is your thing.
And one of the things we passed by, and it was very hard to turn down, so I decided to get it because I love cake, is a Japanese fluffy cheesecake. They were making them fresh right there, they're stamping them fresh right there, and they jiggle so much. And this is like 780 yen. It's very fluffy, and it's one of these famous cakes that are known. Compared to an American cheesecake, it's very light.
I want to see a big bite here.
I did a slicer, this is crazy.
It's just a casual snack. Every school kid in Japan gets one of those to elementary school and then they eat it.
It's very eggy. It's definitely fluffy. It's very egg whitey taste, so it's very good. I think that's what gives it this nice jiggle. I would like to eat it with like a nice fork.
Well, look at that. How nice that came off.
Look at this. It's very airy, so it kind of just like melts in your mouth very quickly.
It honestly looks like more like a loaf of bread than a cheesecake. I think it's funny how good it holds its form. And let's see.
God, your bites are huge, man.
These are fun to eat, man. I wonder if this was a common sight, a white man sitting here on the river, just eating a big loaf of bread.
Eating my cheesecake.
That's pretty good. For dessert, we got these cute little mochi daifuku-like strawberry things here. Strawberries seem to be quite the fancy thing here in Japan. We got those two things for 800, 400 each. And there are two different versions. One, the mochi or whatever it is a little more strawberry based as well. And then this one looks
The traditional one.
traditional. And then the cream in there, is it the same?
It's chocolate, I think, in there.
Ooh, might be a chocolate in there. Just gonna grab the strawberry one.
You're supposed to use that paper so you don't get your fingers dirty.
How though? Maybe to try to avoid getting all your hands chalky. But okay, I'm just gonna try it.
Just shove it in your mouth, man. I love this texture.
That is gooey. I think it might be the red bean paste.
Oh, is it red bean paste?
Yeah, it's a red bean
That would
paste.
make more sense.
The strawberries here are so big, they're so dark red and so juicy. This is really good. I just wish it was a little cheaper, but this thing is worth it.
So I feel like strawberries are kind of similar in Chinese culture as well. A lot of fruit is given as gifts. They're more of a specialty item. It's not like an everyday thing that we eat. But look at this, it looks awesome.
Amateur bite.
Ooh, that's a nice strawberry. This is beautiful. Look at that.
Look at it, it's nice.
Even though it's been very crowded today, I think the food has been on point. Thanks for the sound effects.
We really enjoyed this river and the calm vibes, but yes, it is time to get busy again for the highlight of our trip, the Shinto shrine area on Mount Inari called Fushimi Inari Taisha.
Iconic Japanese train crossing about to happen. Alright, we're on our way to the next tourist destination. Slight hint, check out the gate, and it immediately got popping again.
The highlight here is a path of 10,000 Tori Gates leading you around the mountain. As you can see, this area at the base is just packed with tourists, and here is where the path starts.
I'm trying to be positive. I'm getting so stressed and claustrophobic in there. Step out for a second because it's just like a herd of people.
It's basically a big tunnel made out of these gates, and it's really awesome. It's just really unfortunate how unenjoyable it is, because it's literally like walking through a tunnel, like herded. It just, you can't really look around at the gates and enjoy it much. It's really awesome. Try to come here at the butt crack of dawn. I don't know when they open. Come at 5 a.m., 6 a.m.
Come right like at midnight, I don't know.
Then it would be awesome.
So far this was a pretty overcrowded experience. However, this changed drastically. All you have to do is to be willing to put some extra effort into hiking the 233-meter mountain for about an hour or two. Every step there are fewer people, and doing this turned out to be the best decision and one of the most memorable adventures we had in Japan.
Viewpoint.
Yeah, can you hold this and take off my jacket?
I just saw a guy with ice cream coming down, so extra motivation to get up there.
Alright, this turns out quite adventurous feeling. So what started as the horror on the bottom with all the people ended up pretty cool, like pretty enjoyable. Just plan like an hour hike maybe, and then you do the loop here up in the mountains and it feels awesome.
Nicer. Phil was like, oh, so they add some exercise element to weed out the people.
There's like stages, like 5 stages to this whole hike, and if you're reaching level 5, which we're on right now, then it's freaking awesome. Shrine. Damn, this is like some Tomb Raider stuff here. This is awesome, man. Holy cow. The end of the road. We found the Fountain of Youth. I found it. Finally. Shall drink from it. This is awesome. We had so much fun without all the people around, and I've never experienced a more mythical place than this, with all the gates, shrines and statues in the jungle on a mountain. Awesome. Keeping healthy.
They literally put the gates the entire loop. This is awesome. We really thought they were only going to be down there for 100 meters, but it's the entire loop of the mountain. This is what we wanted. Look at that. You just need to climb a little mountain, and then you get all of this for yourself. How cool is that, man? So worth it, man.
I'm here too. It's me.
I was ready to turn around down there after a minute with all the people.
Good thing you walked a little further.
Yeah. Amazing. This feels like what you see on social media, but down there, quite the opposite.
We're here.
Well done, guys.
So this appears to be the top.
Yes, we summited.
Definitely worth to do the little loop. Yes. In typical Japanese fashion, we're going to end this not as loud as usual, but we're at the top of Mount Mysen here in Kyoto, and it was a mixed day today, some ups and downs, a lot of tourist crowds. Maybe let us know in the comments below what you think about these crowds. The place is absolutely beautiful, but what outweighs which aspect? Let us know.
Yeah, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week in another city in Japan. Arigato gozaimasu for watching.
Sayonara. Pretty cool area here, leading down the path.